Hey guys, it's your boy Eli.
And it's your boy Kelvin. We are back, y'all.
This is the second episode of the Geek Centurions. And today we're going to talk about the Avengers Re-Release and our review of Spider-Man Homecoming. So you normally it's me and Kelvin, but this time we got ourselves a third person. Would you like to introduce yourself, my friend?
Sup, my name's Joseph.
That's a nice introduction. So let's get started, guys. Avengers Endgame. It's been 3 months, counting, and it's still kind of out with the recent re-release. We're trying to see how much money they can make out of this. You know, Disney's trying to get up there, but I think we all agree that the movie's really good.
I agree. I cried many a times. There were some really powerful moments in the movie, and like for those who didn't cry, well, I'm not gonna say much, but you are a heartless person. I'm just kidding. I
think
love you. I love
hold
you.
on. This is where the review's gonna come in, though, in my opinion, because to be frank, I didn't cry.
Really?
I didn't cry.
Why did you not cry?
Wow.
Why?
Really?
Why? Okay, why did you cry?
I was moved to the fact that I was gonna cry, but I did not cray.
But you.
I felt an emotional attachment, and that's gonna go into what.
But you didn't like break a tear or whatever or nothing.
No.
Really?
Have you to our audio listeners? You probably don't know this, but to our visual watchers or listeners, or whatever you want to call it, we got ourselves a Infinity Gauntlet right here.
This shit real.
Oh yeah, it's got little LED lights. I can just put it in, but I'm not gonna put it in. I don't want to snap us all away into dust. I just don't want
power.
all that power. Joseph, I don't feel so good.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, Avengers Endgame, after the amazing ending that was Infinity War, we are now in this moment in the story where stuff has happened, years have passed, and now our heroes, the Avengers, are trying to find a way to bring everyone back from this event they call decimation. So they're going to go in the most craziest idea ever of trying to get those people back, and this is what we're going to talk about for our review. So the way we're going to do this is our first time doing a review, and you probably later on you'll see more of these probably, is we're going to go by each person here, and then we're going to talk about our thoughts on the film. We might jump in here and there, but this is how the review is going to go. And Joseph, since you're the new guy around, we're gonna treat you like one, and you're gonna be the first one to give your thoughts on this film. And since it's been out for a couple months, I think spoilers are okay, right?
Spoilers are currently in effect because it's been 3 months. Y'all had your chance. So if you haven't seen it by now, well, best of luck to you.
All right, so Joey, why don't you take us off?
All right. Me personally, I really like the film. It's a very satisfying conclusion to what Marvel has dubbed now the Infinity Saga of the MCU. There's a lot of great character moments for various characters. I feel like everyone gets at least some time to shine.
There's been a lot of build up to it too.
Yeah, obviously there's been a huge build up. Ever since the first Iron Man, it's all led up to this movie. Essentially, it is literally the end game for a lot of the characters in the movie. So they have some good send-offs for some characters.
It did not end well for some though.
Some some did not.
Kelvin's giving me that look. I can just tell. He just wants to hurt me right now.
That's not fair. That wasn't fair to what they did. That wasn't fair. That's all I'm gonna say.
And yeah, I mean, the story goes places that. I mean, it does all right, so spoilers, I guess.
Again, spoilers are in effect. So again, if you haven't seen it, well, shit. I don't know what to say, but just shit.
It's been months, guys. Come on.
You I don't know. It's you can torrent it now. You can do whatever. I don't know. I mean, for crying out loud, a Blu-ray digital release is gonna come out soon. So it's yeah.
Everyone
just yeah.
Mothers,
also, to be fair, Far From Home is out now, and that has huge spoilers for Endgame. So I mean, at this point,
it's a given.
You probably already know what happens in Endgame. But anyways, yeah, time travel stuff. happens that's like a major plot point, and it's done fairly well. I mean, it's sort of like hand waved, like, listen, it's time travel. This is basically how it works. Let's not get into too much of it, and let's just enjoy like the ride.
I feel like their time travel was probably. I feel there's people who will probably contradict me later on. We can talk about that later. But I feel like it's the most consistent time travel they've done in film.
Yeah, because I mean, like time travel is always kind of like a weird thing to do in films. Like it's always like, it's like paradoxes and like alternate timelines and basically like all that stuff. Here it's more or less explained like basically every like time they go back into the past or whatever, or like time travel for the MCU is basically just alternate like universes essentially.
Yeah,
is what they kind of come up with.
Yeah,
but yeah, no. The cinematography is great. Like just everything about the film just like feels like a great send off for these characters.
I would say, aren't you a film major? So,
Yeah,
like, there was...
yeah, I am a film major. I mean, you know, like, I mean, yeah. But yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, I just found it to be a great film. And I will also say this, like, there's probably, like, a good chunk of people that probably, like, would try to get into the MCU with Endgame, and that's definitely not a go-to.
It's not.
This film definitely relies heavily on at least knowing a good chunk of the MCU. Not all of it necessarily, but yeah, it definitely feels like it's for the fans kind of thing.
Yeah, because like Kelvin, did you ever were there moments where you're like, oh man, this is like a callback to this movie, or like, oh, I'm surprised I actually made a reference to that, considering how no one paid attention to that movie.
It's funny that you say that, bro, because yeah, there the times when they had a callback, or like kind of like not like a callback, like a way back scene, or throwback. That's the appropriate term. Throwback scene to like those specific scenes in the movies that you saw. Like especially, I know for sure, like the. Like
there is one I'm thinking of specifically.
Yeah,
sure,
I know some were like the first Iron Man scenes, right?
Yeah.
Like the first Iron Man movies, there were some of the villains that were like in there that even in the Spider-Man movie they made way back reference to that as quote unquote.
That was more on Far From Home than
Far From Home reference, but like Endgame wise, like whenever they went back in time to like the first Avengers movie ever, like when they finally captured Loki and they're like, oh hey, we gotta get the test back. I'm like, oh shit, like it was smart, but for me it was more like an oh shit moment. Yeah. It's like that's cool, and like I'm glad that they made that reference back, like the times where the team goes back in time to kind of like fix some things, and like I'm glad they did that.
So like the one I'm thinking of right now, like they showed off Jarvis.
What's up?
They showed off Jarvis.
Oh yeah, they did.
Well, which one do you think I'm talking about?
What do you mean, like Jarvis or
Jarvis?
The
butler.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know.
I just gave you the hint right there.
I know, like I'm trying to piece it together, but again, it's been
okay. So that's my point in what I'm gonna say, because like, so this is what I'm seeing, and I'm gonna go into this further on when I come to my point of conversation, is that they included stuff that, if you have not been following this whole tapestry, you wouldn't know, because there was a character that only showed up on the TV shows. There was a back then, like a couple of years ago, they had a TV show centered around Peggy Carter.
Yeah, Agent Carter. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the characters on there.
That was Jarvis. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jarvis is in the film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was there for.
I almost forgot. Yeah.
Yeah.
His name was Jarvis.
No one noticed. Well, no one. I mean, there's people that noticed, but like at that moment,
that's right.
in the theater,
he was like the caretaker and
he was the caretaker.
The
he was
butler.
The butler.
He was basically Marvel's version of Alfred.
Oh man, you're like. Talking to a comic book nerd, you gotta come careful with that shit.
I mean, think about.
He's not. Well, first of all, I'm not gonna go into that.
Think about it. Okay.
No, I'll tell you why, and it's gonna be after this episode. But no, like that was a scene that I'm like, oh man, they really went back to the time. They really went back and not literally went back in time to get this actor to do this scene, and like I remember I was the only one in the theater that was like, wait, that's Jarvis
Yeah.
from the TV show.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, quiet. And I'm like, do you guys not see what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
And I think that's the power of the film. And Joseph, I think you said it best. It's if you haven't caught up with these films, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kelvin, I think you want to give your thoughts on the rest of the film.
The fight scenes in general, and then that whole, I'm sorry, that moment whenever Cap,
Boy.
that hammer, like
Boy.
it just flew to him, like it flew. No, okay, because Thanos thinking, oh, he's got a Stormbreaker. Oh, he's gonna call back Mjolnir. No, it goes right past Thor, to Cap's hand. I freaked the hell out.
Absolutely.
And then I'm like thinking, wait, Avengers Age of Ultron, Cap was the only person to make Mjolnir move. Nobody else, or to make it budge.
Yeah.
So I already knew, it was him the whole time that, he's worthy. He is also worthy.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They're talking about the setup. And
Yeah.
Joseph, I saw this before you.
Yes.
And I was like, you gotta see this. Because there was two scenes that I'm thinking of in my, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was the Mjolnir scene and the Avengers Assemble scene.
Yes.
That was something you always wanted to see.
Absolutely.
And I remember the day you saw it, the first thing I get was the theme song to Captain America in the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 game. And like Avengers Assemble, a picture of Cap holding.
See, that's what he says when you have like all the Avengers on your team. He's like, Avengers Assemble, and then the music plays when you're player 2 or whatever. So obviously for me that's like also it's just a classic line that like Cap always says. So that's like,
yeah.
And they teased it at the end of Age of Ultron too, because he was like Avengers and then cut to black.
Yeah, I remember you were really mad about that.
It's like that's the whole thing.
You wanted to strangle me.
Yeah, well,
because I was the only person next to you.
Yeah.
No, like you're right. The fight scenes were great. I think there's just so many callbacks.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that scene where like Cap's shield, it's just it's literally in pieces now. Like he only has a piece of his shield left, and he's got nothing left. And then now he's got Mjolnir in his hands, and I'm like, oh my god,
dude! I'm a big Cap fan. He's like one of my favorite characters.
That was
like I've always known he would pick up the hammer.
Second scene in which I cried. Second scene.
I don't believe you. I was
no. Yeah,
that was one of the moments. I'm like, damn it!
It was
hold back your tears, man.
Well, you need to let them out because you about to explode. You about to explode full of water.
I was, not just from tears. That's a 3-hour movie, man.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, no, I held it in like a champ. But it's those are great scenes, man.
Man, like his daughter, going to Tony's daughter. Obviously the nickname, I Love You 3000. That's like a trending thing now. But wait, what was his daughter's
Morgan?
Name? Morgan. Okay.
Which, by the way, that's a movie original character.
What's up?
That's in a movie original character.
No, yeah, it is absolutely.
There is no Morgan in the comics.
Yeah. That's strictly Avengers movie, like.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, great, you did something new. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was going to be eventually a thing where Tony was going to eventually be with Pepper. They were eventually going to get married. They were eventually going to have a kid.
Yeah, they kept teasing it so many times.
Yeah, they were like it was really obvious. Mm-hmm. And oh my gosh, that funeral scene at the end. My gosh, like it's a proper ending. It's a proper send off, and then like that arc reactor, and that was from the first movie. And Pepper's gift to him. It was his first arc reactor that he had.
That's right.
Yeah. And it says,
the proof that Tony Stark had
proof
a heart.
that Tony Stark had a heart. Yeah. And it's just like floating in the lake, and I'm like, God damn it.
Hold back your tears.
That was literally me, and I was sniffling. I was bawling my eyes out, and like just like even after, and then like all the heroes, that were there. They're just that they were there, and yeah. But then this is also one other significant Easter egg kind of thing.
I don't know. The kid?
Yeah. So from Iron Man 3, he was there.
Yeah, the kid from Iron Man 3 showed up, and
but he's like much older because like this is like years. This is about a good maybe 5-ish years.
When did Iron Man 3 come out?
Yeah, in 2013. So
6 years.
6 years. Wow.
No, because the movie came out this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie came out this year. So yes,
Well, when was the filming done? Was it? It was still probably in 2018 though, right? Filming.
I think they filmed it back to back.
Yeah, so it's still probably
with
17,
like
18.
additional scenes.
but
Maybe.
again, but again though, it's like that scene significantly signifies how important like
Tony
each one of
Stark
those
was
characters
yeah.
was, and then like the kid who essentially helped Iron Man or helped Tony Stark fix his suit. But he was just like a little kid back then. But then now, it's 6 years later. Oh, he's like a teenager.
You're forgetting the fact that he left a little treasure trove of Iron Man technology for him at the end of the movie.
Oh no, for sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then also with the whole suit that Pepper wore, that's gonna be Morgan's suit now.
We don't know yet.
It's
we don't know yet. We
don't
know the future.
No, because you know why? Because he's made hints that he. Like, yes, Pepper used the suit in the fight, but specifically, that design, the design of the suit is going to be for Morgan, but when she gets older.
We don't know that yet.
Again, that's just my thing.
Everyone's been talking about, will she take over Iron Riri Williams? Do you know who that is?
The first African-American Iron Man?
Technically, the first would probably be
first woman.
Rhodey?
Probably, but
okay, no, okay.
Yeah,
no,
that's the thing.
First,
but she's the chick that took over Iron Man when he was comatose during the events of Civil War II. During and after the events of Civil War II, and like when Tony came back, she went by her own name.
But that's comic book story. I don't know how they translate it into the movie though, because
you can still do it. Like honestly, like
true, but it's gonna be okay. There's different now. Here's my take on that, because there's gonna be different scenarios that affecting that, because essentially, it would be. I don't know about Peter Parker, because Peter Parker is his own person as Spider-Man.
Kelvin, where that's I understand.
Yeah.
But like we're gonna have to like wait and see what happens. I can't. Yeah. I don't want to speculate right now.
That's true.
Yeah, but like.
I mean, I'm interested to see how, like, if they were to integrate that though, because Riri Williams, same concept as Tony Stark. She was like a 15, 16-year-old like genius going to MIT, going to like a.
There's a difference.
What's up?
I said there's a difference.
She
didn't get stuck in Vietnam. No, she didn't get stuck in Vietnam.
What's up?
She didn't get stuck in Vietnam.
Vietnam.
That's how his origin starts off in the original.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nah, she's cool though.
I found that I always found the origin stories between the movie Iron Man and then the comic books is like so different. It's like in the comics, he gets stuck in Vietnam in the jungle.
This is why you got me, the comic book guy.
Yeah, and then like over in the movies, it's like somewhere in the Middle East.
It's more modern though. It's modern retelling, and I really like it. It's it's really nice to take. But no, you're right. Like there were so many moments that like are callbacks, and I guess this is my turn to talk about the film. And honestly, I really here's the thing that I'm saying that I really enjoyed the movie, but for me, you kind of need to know your homework for this, simply because there was so much stuff that if you have not followed like the past films, you wouldn't get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't mean like callbacks and references like the Jarvis thing,
but just the entire the whole movies in general that's been.
Well, I mean, like there's a clear overarching. There's an arc in these films.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't really get that just by watching this. I think the best example would be this is really Tony Stark's huge arc. It starts off with him being kind of this snobbish rich dude. Only cared about the next money. Then he realized, okay, I gotta do this thing because I've actually been causing a lot of harm to people. That leads into something like in Avengers where him and Tony and Steve are having a discussion. Like, you're not the one that take the sacrifice route. You're not that special. But as we go along, we start learning why Steve is special. We learn why. We really start seeing like Tony start, letting himself become more of a hero. Iron Man 3, there's this thing where he's reacting to the events that happen in Avengers. He's kind of have like this PTSD moment where you only feel safe inside of an armor. He's learned not to be that reliant on the armor now, which leads into this whole thing in the Avengers 2 where he's like, listen, I'm going to be in the armor, yeah, but I'm going to make sure everyone's still safe. I'm making all these robots, and his ignorance caused Ultron. And that's when he and Steve had this whole thing, like, if we fail together, and that continues on into Captain America. And the events that happen in Captain America 2, solidify his ideas that go into Captain America 3. Steve talking about Steve. Captain America, oh my boy, and the events that happen in Civil War, Captain America 3 Civil War, leads into what happens in Avengers Infinity War, and then we have Endgame that is the culmination of that story arc. There's this that's what I'm saying. Like, you can watch this movie, you can probably enjoy it. It's like, oh, it's just a cool superhero movie. But if you never followed like all these stories that go on, you know, for Tony, for Steve, even Spider-Man has a little story arc, and we're gonna get into that when we eventually talk about, you know, Far From Home. But there's these huge story arcs that are going on that if you just never paid attention to, you wouldn't really get that resonance. Like, I'm saying, like, yeah, I didn't cry, but I'm not saying I didn't like feel emotion. The first 5 minutes of Hawkeye just realizing he just lost his family was like, my heart.
That broke him.
That broke
Literally, that broke him. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's probably like, I feel like, yeah, there's some parts you can like talk about, you know, that doesn't make sense, you know, the time travel doesn't make sense. It's, at the end of the day, I think it's still able to comply with the whole point of the film was this, you know, sense of looking back and these events that culminate into the way these characters have become. And I think that's the most important thing to look at this film. I mean, there's some dumb parts, yeah, but like everything felt satisfying. You know, you had Cap who had his whole thing, and you know, we're glad to see where he ended up. You know, yeah, there's the obvious Mjolnir thing, but at the same time, you know, his whole character about him being out of time, just want to go back, missing out on that last dance, therefore making like the ending feel so meaningful. That's like the most satisfying thing of a way to end that movie for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. And but I don't know why some people were saying, you know, like I've seen this in like, you know, some videos as well, and like some critics say this, but
Yeah.
like they say, oh, like there's a major plot hole. I'm like, where? Because I feel like they kind of filled it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it's just
It's
time travel.
It's time travel,
And
also
the thing
like,
about time travel is that
Yeah.
it's so like easy to overthink it. And am I right on that statement?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, like, it's always like I don't know. I feel like time travel in media is always sort of like, it's either like people try to make it simple, but at the same time people are like, well, what about this stuff, or like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a lot of overthinking, because like I remember I had an argument with a guy. He was talking about, well, like they kind of ruined the whole time travel when they got rid of Thanos. That means the snap shouldn't happen. I'm like, no. I think this is the issue that people don't understand. They're going back in time, but they keep forgetting the rule that the Hulk gave out in the film, which was what was it?
Like it was more or less just like nothing you change in the past affects, you know, the present essentially. You'll always be going back to the same present.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, there wasn't a plan to like, oh, why don't we just like go to like get the stones before Thanos snaps and then he does the snap. Well, that doesn't change the what's in the present timeline. It just creates like a different timeline.
Yeah.
That's like the whole thing. I mean, even the ancient one explains that, like, that whole thing where like the Infinity Stones and taking them out of time, it's like it's gonna cause different timelines essentially.
Yeah, and like it changes like the whole thing, and like because I remember like she was like, yeah, if you take away, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Shut up. I'm taking one of the stones off from the Infinity Gauntlet just to make a point.
Yeah.
Like, so if you take
Just
out
to
one
make
of
a point.
these,
For the audio listeners, he took out the time stone.
it makes sense because
Yeah.
it was a time stone at the moment. If you take out the time stone, then we won't be able to defend ourselves from Dormammu, which happens in the Doctor Strange movie, which you know, leads to the whole. I feel like you can say it better than I do.
What?
The Dormammu.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. That thing.
Yeah, he's a good at intimidation. So I've always said that. Yeah, so like that's like a good point. You know, that was like the whole reason why they bring all the stones back, because like they have this sort of like huge effect on the world. Kelvin, you really want to wear that glove, don't you?
I so do. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just, there's something satisfying about a big glove, and like you just want to put it on and like, I don't know.
Man, there's a joke in there I'm not touching. Oh my
I
god.
think I dropped one of the stones.
They dropped one of the stones?
Yeah.
Oh
the
great.
reality
No,
stone.
that's the power stone.
Oh, the power stone. Yeah. Yeah. See, I don't know my stones. I just know there
You just know
are 5 stones, but like I don't know like
There's
in
six.
there in
There's
there's
6 stones.
What's up?
6 stones.
Okay, 6 stones. I know there's 6 stones.
Calvin, do we
but
need to take you back to elementary school?
Meh.
All right.
Anyways, yeah. So
Yeah, I think we said our piece. We all agree it's a great film. I think that we just think that there's some points that people just don't really understand. Like there was another guy. He was just like, well, why don't you just like go back to where everyone was snapped and then like snap them back? I'm like, well, that doesn't affect their world.
Yeah.
And I think you said it best. That just everyone just overcomplicates it.
Yeah, like, and I feel like the movie goes out of its way to like try to be like, because I feel like the moment where like they're talking about time travel in movies and stuff, I mean, and the whole explaining how time travel works in this movie is basically just the filmmakers telling the audience, all right, this is how time travel works in this movie. Don't ask any more questions other than that, please, and let's just move on. But yet, there's obviously still people who are some like obviously like still curious. Other people like probably don't pay attention to that much in movies, or just like,
yeah,
it doesn't make any sense. How does this work? How does that work? It's like,
yeah, the only time
about that, like to kind of piggyback off that. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like if I haven't seen the movie and you are constantly asking me questions, oh hey, what happens here? Hey, what happens to that? I haven't seen this movie either.
I'm watching it. I'm
trying to understand it too, so we can talk about it after. But now, shush.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like enjoy the movie.
Everyone's been talking about Steve going back.
It's like, oh, how did that happen? Like, dude, I am in the same boat as you.
Like, doesn't that affect? Like, technically, it doesn't. And everyone's like, well, then didn't he ruin Peggy Carter's marriage?
No.
First of all, okay, am I right on this?
right.
Because you see Winter Soldier as much as I have.
Yes.
Did they ever show Peggy's husband?
They never showed her husband.
Did they ever show her having kids?
She mentioned having kids, but they never showed the kids.
She mentioned having a granddaughter.
Yeah.
But then like we don't know. Okay.
And she even has. Well, I guess Tifa, the niece, Sharon Carter. I mean,
That's her niece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's her
What
niece.
oh no, wait, is that her
Ages
niece
13.
or her?
That's her niece.
Never
Okay, so there's no indication that they had kids.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things. Like, well, technically we don't know, so it technically could be him. And there's people who are like, well, he just let all this stuff happen. Like, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't he? Because then if he did anything, it would ruin a lot of stuff. Events wouldn't happen the way they conspire.
Also, given the fact how time travel works in this movie, he could have easily just been living his life in an alternate timeline where he just lives his life with Peggy and then came back to the moment and with Falcon to give him the shield and be an old man in the current timeline.
It wouldn't ruin really that much anything, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
Not necessarily, no.
Oh, and then
there'd still be a Captain America running around in that timeline in theory. So
I think there's even people more that like freaked out over the fact that like it's like, oh, why didn't he choose his longtime friend Bucky instead of Falcon? Like that was the thing too.
Honestly, it could have gone either way.
Yeah, it could have been Bucky or it could have been Falcon. I mean, either way, both do take up the mantle of Captain America.
I think
that's just my take.
Yeah, I think for this one, it's like it makes more sense for it to be Falcon because Bucky's still kind of like coming back from in this iteration. Bucky's still coming back from this whole Hydra stuff.
Being brainwashed by Hydra.
Yeah, being brainwashed by Hydra and all that stuff. So it makes sense. In the comics, yeah, he was the first one to take over the mantle, but that's because he felt that he was ready to take over that mantle. Here, it's clearly obvious he's not ready. So giving it to the next best person would be Falcon. Would make a lot of sense. I don't know. Just have you ever seen the comic version of Falcon being Captain America? I kind of like his suit a lot more. He's got the wings, but they're all colored red, white, and blue, and it looks so patriotic. And I'm like, that's a lot cooler.
America, motherfuckers.
So
yeah,
let's Kelvin, you didn't see the re-release, right?
I have not. No, I only saw the original cut, which was when it came out.
And that's fine because me and Joseph over here. Can I just call you Joey? Because I know that's your nickname.
I mean, fine.
He has this kind of like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, I mean,
all these different
I
names
wanted to be
and crap.
Professional, but I mean, I guess we can do that.
This
well,
podcast
you're wearing a Pokemon hat. There is no professionality.
This podcast is no way. It's three
a
nerds.
Podcast, Pokemon. Geeky enough.
This podcast is nowhere close to being professional in any way possible. Yeah.
All right, so we both saw it.
Yeah.
The end credits, yeah. What y'all think about?
Okay, so the first thing that they showed off was the thank you to Stan Lee. And a lot of people felt like this was needed at the first round. They probably didn't have enough time to do it because you know how filming works and editing works. That's
Yeah. I feel like at the time, like they were probably already like finishing the cut. So I mean, yeah, I probably wanted to get it out at that release date. So they probably didn't like have some random editor just like quickly make up an edit of like a little compilation of clips of featuring Stan Lee and like paying tribute to him. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, because doesn't editing take a long time?
It does. I mean, granted, like they probably wanted to give like this edit, like this like compilation of all this stuff about Stan Lee and thanking him for all that stuff. They probably wanted to give it at least some time, like.
Yeah, because
they probably didn't want to rush it. Even if it's like maybe like I think what was it like 5 minutes?
I felt like it was less.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because like when we watched it, that the way they edited it, I'm like, oh man, tears don't come out. It's hard for me to cry, guys. That's just it. But
so you didn't cry even at Stan Lee's tribute?
I wanted to so much, but it's so hard to get the waterworks going.
Damn, bro, you're heartless.
I'm not heartless. It's very hard for me to cry.
Well, yeah.
Like I feel the emotion. I know what I'm feeling. I felt it in my heart.
Nah, you just need a keyblade to open
dude,
that heartless heart now.
You don't know my body.
Like I said, you need the keyblade.
No, we're not doing that. So that was it. And the next thing they had was and this one caused like a lot of stir.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that upset with it, mostly because I'm like, I get it. I get why they wanted to put that in there. It was like more for like, oh yeah, this is because the Russo brothers. One of the Russo brothers. I don't remember which one it was.
I think it might have been Anthony.
Anthony?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Anthony. He was he showed up and was like, oh, this is a scene in the movie that we wanted to add, but we didn't have time to, so we're gonna show you. And it was essentially Professor Hulk when Bruce becomes a Banner, when Bruce and Hulk kind of merge together to be the Talking Hulk, which a lot of people found weird, but I'm like, makes sense to me. So
how they merged together to be the Talking Hulk.
Yeah. So that didn't bother me as much. So I was fine with it. So, but the way it came off like a bad PS2 game, because it was what was it like
It was it was like a cutscene. So they didn't obviously like spend enough time like rendering any sort of like CGI. So it's kind of like it's basically like test footage. Like it's if I recall, it's like he's like saving some people in a burning building and like talking to like firefighters, and it's basically just like a very pre-rendered like Hulk just like talking to people.
It's something you would find in a deleted scene.
Yeah,
and it felt very off for so many people. They're like, "Why are you showing us this?" Especially because there was talks about showing off. So like how in the Infinity War, Thanos snapped and he saw like a young Gamora and like what I'm guessing was the Soul Stone.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have been that, but with a grown-up Morgan for Tony. And I think a lot of people were expecting that, so I'm like, I get it, but
I can also expectations.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying expectations. I can see why I can understand why everyone's upset, but I'm like, this is okay.
I think it's like when you mention that, it's like fans, they have a particular, not like I said, part of it's expectations, but also it's like, oh, they want this to happen, but it's like obviously if it doesn't happen, then the fans are gonna be like, oh, why blah blah blah, why didn't you put this in?
I was gonna say this, like a lot of the general audience don't really check the deleted scenes.
Probably not.
They just want the meat. They don't care about the sides.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like, when you get a DVD or a Blu-ray, do you check the deleted scenes?
I usually do, yeah.
You usually do, yeah? Well, that's because you know.
Yeah, because I know, they'll say in the commercials, like, oh, this movie comes with deleted scenes. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm going to check it out.
Cut out from the movie that they didn't have time to put in, and that's what that was, and a lot of people don't know that because they don't really check the deleted scenes.
People are just lazy.
I don't say they're lazy, I just say they don't really know. They don't really know.
They don't really care. Potato. I don't know.
And... Yeah,
I don't know. I definitely agree with that. Although a part of me, I think when I was watching it, I don't like. I guess I was just like, I kind of understand the whole fan expectation thing because like when you first see like the deleted scene, like you don't really know what's actually happening. It's just like, oh, there's people in a burning building. Or
I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a thing at first.
Because of like how like pre-rendered the graphics were, the CGI was. I honestly thought like this was like some weird like tease for like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
That's mainly because obviously like you know, Marvel now has those characters back that were owned by Fox, and I was just like, oh, what if this is like a bait and switch? Like, oh wait, this is actually like a tease for like the Fantastic Four, and that's the thing in the building. But no, it's just a poorly rendered Professor Hulk just run out. It's
It
like,
would have been cool seeing a scene at the same time.
yeah, I was like, I mean, I was deflated, but I was like, oh, okay, that actually makes sense. All right.
Yeah, and then it cuts into, and this is gonna go into our other review. It cuts into like the first, I want to say 5 minutes to Far From Home.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I think like the first scene.
Okay, you've seen Far From Home.
yeah. I've
opening
actually
stuff,
seen it.
The
Yeah.
opening stuff.
What's up?
Yeah, the opening stuff with Mysterio.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That was it.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
the last thing, just to like promote Far From Home, which was like
Yeah.
Was Mysterio? Yeah.
Yeah. Because before we go to that, to our Far From Home review, the funny thing is, a lot of people have talked about this re-release was in order to beat Avatar
Mm-hmm.
as the #1 box office in the world. At the time of this recording, they are $5,000 away
From beating Avatar.
from beating Avatar.
Yeah.
Well,
They're
that's to meet it.
Wow.
That's to meet it, and then like I'm pretty sure like just a couple hundreds, and then they're done. They got it. They beat it.
Yeah.
But,
No. Yeah. So they pretty much they already made enough money to make back. Now it's just okay to beat Avatar.
to
now.
beat Avatar, because everyone wants that beat that Avatar.
Oh no. Yeah, absolutely for sure.
Yeah. And I think you said it best. We talked about this before, Joey. Is that Avatar came out around a time where like there wasn't really that much competition.
Well, yeah, I mean, my theory about why Avatar did so well, I mean, it was the idea that like it was essentially a summer blockbuster released in winter. I mean, I feel like it's also why they released like the Star Wars movies in winter, because there isn't really anything happening in the winter in terms of movies. Usually just like holiday movies or just random like other movies. So it's like,
Yeah, it's something you want to get the whole family into.
yeah. So I mean, that's like at least that was like kind of my theory as to why it did so well in the first place.
Yeah.
I also know that they did do some re-releases for Avatar as well.
Oh, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It was like, oh man, see, Avatar didn't do a re-release. They did a re-release. Now it's fine.
Yeah, like they did.
Dylan really wants. You really want to wear that, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
We'll get to it.
yeah, they did like a do. They do like
I would
a.
have waited for the whole recording.
Yeah.
You're just gonna pose with it the whole time.
Pretty
Like,
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was not the
All
whole
right.
thing over.
So, Far From Home, I think that is the best live-action Spider-Man I've ever seen in my adult life.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
The way they brought the characters all together, and especially like highlighting some of the characters that were originally in the comics wise, like
Yeah.
for example,
By the way, guys, this is going to be spoiler free. We're
So,
not gonna go into it.
we're
It's
gonna
still
give you a
pretty-
chance because it's still fresh, but there will be some details that are obviously from the movie. But again,
Yeah.
we'll try our very
Honestly,
best.
you don't need us for spoiler because we're just gonna be like, oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was just really good.
Yeah. And Joe, you want to start us off with this one? He's gonna wear
I'm
it.
gonna wear it now.
He's gonna wear it.
Just cause
All right.
Just don't snap us out. Don't snap us out of existence. There's 3 of us.
I know.
All of a sudden, I just disappear and it's just you two.
Oh,
Oh, he's the one that got snapped. Well,
I snapped myself.
We got a new
For
Centurion.
the audio listeners, he just tried to snap with the glove. Just gonna point that out. But yeah, no. Far From Home, I definitely, I really liked it. I'm not sure if I would call it the best live action one.
I'll fight you, but okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's because for me, like I still really like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay.
Honestly,
which
The Sam
Spider-Man?
Raimi's. The original 3, Tobey Maguire.
Oh, Tobey Maguire. Okay.
Like Spider-Man 2, I still really, really remember liking and enjoying even as a kid. Although, I mean, I will honestly, I guess like thinking about it for like a couple of days since like watching it, I would rank Far From Home and Spider-Man 2 about equal to me.
Okay.
Like they're both like really good. I can't decide which one is better. So in terms of best Spider-Man movies, those 2 are like
Yeah.
I think the best for me, which is funny because they're both sequels in a trilogy or films.
That really blew it out the water.
Yeah, because obviously I think Far From Home is definitely a lot more, I guess, impactful than Homecoming for me. Like Homecoming itself was fine. And I think it kind of it's just kind of like Spider-Man dealing with like low-level crime, essentially, which is fine.
He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, but after obviously
Kevin, I swear if you break that thing on the
I'm not gonna break it.
But obviously after Infinity War, Endgame, like Spider-Man has obviously done some even crazier shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like they actually like deal with the repercussions of Endgame.
Yeah, because like a big point of like the whole film is that like Peter feels very insecure about he obviously misses Tony, and like a lot of people are sort of like wondering, Spider-Man, are you gonna step up and be like the next Tony Stark? And like because of that, like Peter like obviously gets like sort of like insecure about like the idea of like having to take up the reins, even like because even like Nick Fury himself is like wanting to take Peter to like step up and like be like a superhero, while obviously Peter is just struggling, just like I've been to space, I got snapped away, a bunch of people at school are like 5 years older than me now. It's like I need to
chill.
I need to be me. I never got a chance to be a 16-year-old teenager from Brooklyn, basically.
Yeah. Well, he still is one.
Well, yeah, but
like I think Kevin, you want to give your thoughts real quick?
Huh?
You want to give your thoughts on the film real quick?
So yeah,
take the gauntlet away.
And then I got it. Okay. I just want to keep it on. No. Okay.
My turn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, absolutely for sure. Like I said, I agree. I fucking knew you were gonna do that. We should have that for a thumbnail shot. It's just that.
Yeah.
It's just like,
just me going
no, just you and me, just like you and me, Joey, just looking at him like all weird, and like as he's doing like. She's doing like as a thumb shot.
Your review, sir.
Yeah, sorry. ADHD coming in. Just stab me away. No, like I said, I would say my overall favorite scenes in the movie, again, without going full into spoilers, was just how they brought some of the villains into the action, and I was like, I thought that was really interesting because those are some of the villains we saw in the comic books. We've only seen strictly in comic books. We've never seen a live rendition of those villains until this movie.
The funny thing is, if Sam Raimi, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, were allowed, because the director wanted to make a fourth one, he made all three, and now made a fourth one. He was gonna have like a little short Mysterio thing, where it would have been played by a character that you kept making cameos, and that would have been
So it would have been Jake Gyllenhaal eventually, or
no, it would have been Jake Gyllenhaal. No, I said a guy who's been in all three films as a cameo.
Oh, okay.
Bruce Campbell.
Who?
Don't make me do it. Joey, stop me from doing this. Bruce Campbell, the guy from Evil Dead.
Who?
Evil Dead. You ever seen Sky High?
Yeah.
He was the coach.
Oh.
Yeah, he and the director are best friends, and he was
okay. Yeah.
He continually makes appearances as different like characters, so it would make total sense.
Oh, was it the whole Ash versus Evil Dead?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, and they're gonna go with the chainsaw as a hand. Yeah. Oh, that guy.
I might get that for whenever we do a review for that. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, dude, you're right. It's so good. I guess I'll give my review because we're gonna keep this one short because we don't want to go into too much spoilers. I say it's the best Spider-Man live action film because it's the one where like you see Peter go through Peter being Peter. He's insecurities, his problems in life, but still finding a way to be responsible for his actions. And I think that's the most important thing that you tend to need in a Spider-Man film. Him showing despite his flaws, he still feels like he is responsible for a lot of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, Mysterio was great. I love what they did compared to what he was in the comics. That was amazing for me. Yeah, for me it's the best live action Spider-Man. I think a lot of people say for me Into the Spider-Verse is probably the better one out of all of them, but that's like one
of the best animated.
Yeah, that's lightning in the bottle kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that's like a lot of heart, a lot of much for General Irons to take in, but I feel like this is a good follow. I think these two are my top favorite Spider-Man movies. I can't really decide which one. So yeah, and I know it sounds short for guys, but that's because we're trying to keep it straight and simple. But I think Joey said it the best way that we both can say it in this time. It's just a great film. Watch it. It's a good follow up to Endgame, especially considering what Peter has to do after, the death of Tony Stark. This whole theory of who was going to take over.
Yeah.
And I think it was just done so great.
One last thing I wanted to wrap up with you. Wrap up this segment. Before we wrap up for today. Your favorite suit.
My favorite suit out of
Your
all
favorite
of them?
suit. No.
Or like
just
from
the
Homecoming.
Tom Holland one. The Tom the Tom Holland Spider-Man you've seen so far. Which is your favorite suit?
For me, it's a deadlock between his newest one, the
Okay.
one you see in the trailers. It's not spoiler. The one with red and black,
Yeah.
and his first one, not the Tony one though, the homemade one, the one you see at the end, towards the end of.
Oh yeah.
Homecoming.
Oh, like the very first
Like
Spider-Man.
the really cheap looking one.
Oh, Homecoming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one he DIYs his
Yeah,
Spidey suit.
I like.
Yeah.
I really like the design of that.
Yeah.
one. Joey, what about you?
Yeah, I think for me it's either the upgraded Spider-Man suit he makes in this one, Far From Home.
Yeah, because that one's not spoilers. That's on the trailers.
Yeah.
Like he has a new one.
Yeah.
Red
Okay.
and black one.
Yeah.
And I think probably the one that Tony made for him, not the Iron Spider suit, just like the regular Spider-Man looking one.
Oh,
the one that kind of gives the classic
in
feel.
Yeah,
Civil
yeah.
War.
Yeah, Civil
yeah.
War.
Okay. Okay, that one. Yeah.
What about
yeah.
you?
Oof. Okay. I'm sorry. That was it the red and black one? That
Yeah,
one
the new
he
one.
made with the printer.
The-
Okay. I'm sorry. That scene. Let's talk about it like real briefly. That printer, like that like futuristic
No
3D
spoilers.
printer looking one.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not a spoiler.
Yeah,
but
you're right. It's down there.
It's just, oh my god, that just brings me back to like, oh, that's how Tony made his suit. I'm like, yo,
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yo,
like,
oh my God.
Tony may be dead, but he's
like
kind of there.
it's kind of a reference. It's
kinda
kind of a
there.
reference and a throwback to how
It's
like,
a reference and a
holy
throwback.
cow,
He's
this is
still
how
kinda
Tony
there.
made his suit. Like the whole touchy thing.
Yeah,
and,
the whole
like,
touchy thing.
So
So
it's like
that's your
this,
first.
you know? Huh?
That's your first. What's your second one?
Oh god, so yeah, so the
Because we
red,
both gave two.
yeah, the red and black as he's making it.
Yeah.
That scene and the new one actually the
The
not the
noir
spider
looking
noir,
one?
but like the black the night suit.
The night suit?
That
The stealth suit, yeah.
that's the
The
one we're
stealth
talking
suit.
about, the noir one.
Yeah. Oh, is that the noir one?
It's not technically noir, but everyone's been calling it noir because it kind of looks
I
like
mean,
noir.
It looks like it, but it's like, but like the spider noir, but that's like a Spider-Man for like a different universe, but like
Yeah.
different story. But the night
stealth
suit,
yeah.
the one who is called it's a night monkey. Oh no, but it's like
Spoilers.
oops,
I'd snap you out.
I have become Tom Holland now.
You're not as handsome.
Fuck you. But yeah,
like, I'm straight, but
no, but yeah, just night the night suit,
the night suit, yeah.
night suit, and the red
So
and black.
basically the new
yeah.
ones from the movies.
Yeah,
I'm surprised none of us said Iron Spider suit.
I was gonna say Iron Spider, but until I saw that
So you're more driven for the scene than the actual
the
suit.
scene, yeah,
So
the
that
scene
doesn't
and how
count
the
to
suit
me.
is
That
made.
doesn't count to me.
Hmm?
That doesn't count to me, but I'll accept it.
Again, yeah.
So yeah,
That's just my
that's Jesus, 10 years, guys.
10 long
If-
years come to a
if
close.
You guys, this is a thing that I feel like if you follow it all the way through, you have a great enjoyment. I know for some of the movies that are like, let's say Thor was not the best, and then there's probably Captain Marvel was okay. I feel like they were just I feel like you kind of need to. I feel like you don't need to watch all of them. You need to watch a good. I say you need to watch a good chunk to fully understand the scope of the story that they've been telling in these tapestry that they have. Kevin Feige's the man, dude. He's fucking doing this whole thing. One man playing this whole thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Where are we at right now currently?
we're 50 minutes, and we'll probably shut it down soon, right?
Yeah, 50 minutes.
But
okay.
before we go that, guys, San Diego Comic-Con is going on this week, and they've only announced a couple films like the Black Widow movie, the Eternals, any comic book movie, any like comic book characters or things that you want to see in the future. Just real quick.
I wanted to see what they're obviously going to continue with the whole Defender series.
No, they're not.
Huh?
They're
Oh, is
not.
it done?
It's up in the air. Everyone's like it's canceled, but they kind of don't know where it's going.
I don't know, because there's like a lot of controversy, not like controversy, but it's like a lot of talks behind, like, you know, like some of it's good, others it's not. So it's like I'm like,
Man, if I had
that's just my take.
if I had enough time to talk about Iron Fist, Iron Fist is one of my favorite characters, and I have time to talk about Iron Fist. I can talk about Iron Fist, but we're not gonna do that today.
Yeah, it's for another episode.
Yeah. But yeah, you're looking for more forward to the Netflix stuff.
I'm looking forward to
Even
more
though
of the
there's
Netflix.
no more Netflix stuff.
Netflix stuff, yeah, for
There's
sure.
no more Netflix stuff, dude.
What's
I'm
that?
telling you, there's no more Netflix stuff.
Oh well.
It's gonna be Hulu now.
Oh, it's all. Oh, that sucks.
Not really, because
So everything's getting moved to.
No,
to...
it's not moved. It's not the stuff.
Oh, they're just.
the stuff
that's
on
it.
Netflix is gone.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, they're all been canceled / final season.
So it's like if you want to watch it, go watch it now. Otherwise,
Yeah. No, it's still gonna be there. It's just like
that's it. You know.
Like they left you all. They left a lot of series, and you know which two. You know which ones. Actually, you haven't caught up, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, because I'm the only one that's caught up.
Yeah,
they left
no.
this in places I'm like, no,
And you
don't leave
can't
this
say shit because we're not caught up.
No, I'm saying I caught up, and you guys don't know what I'm talking about. That's what
Oh
pisses me.
well, okay, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So you're looking forward to more of the streaming stuff because they are
Mhm.
doing streaming stuff.
Yeah, streaming stuff for sure. And then comic book wise, I would like to see
You mean film wise?
Huh?
Film wise.
Oh yeah, film wise. I will. Okay, so I know. Yeah, like you said, they were gonna talk about the new Black Widow film. They're also gonna talk about the. I don't know. I think this was also a feature movie they're gonna do as well. A second Black Panther. I'm not sure if
That's
was
confirmed.
It's,
that made too much.
it's confirmed, but like any I don't know if
Oh,
there's
so
any
you want
teasers.
like an idea of what it's gonna be about?
Well, it's gonna happen. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I would like to see if they was gonna do like a teaser of the second Black Panther movie. Obviously, the second Doctor Strange, and then the.
So you're looking more for sequels.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited. Like I'm looking forward to that.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
I just want them to. I just want to know what they have planned for the characters they got from Fox. Like, what are they gonna do with the X-Men? Like, they have them
Oh
back
snap!
now. Are they like because I know they have like they announced like release dates for films. We just don't know what films those are gonna be. So I just really want to know what they have planned for like the Fantastic Four, X-Men. Like, I'm pretty sure they said they're gonna keep like obviously Deadpool's probably gonna be the one that probably just stays the same.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I'm just picturing the movie starting up with him in a fireplace, going like with like a lot of Disney wear. I'm like, so guys, I've been bought by Disney.
Yeah, a lot of fourth wall breaking because it's Deadpool.
Well, no, yeah, it's the classics of Deadpool.
But yeah, that's what I'm kind of excited for. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I'm pretty sure like at Comic-Con they're gonna just say, oh yeah, like here's stuff about stuff we already like teased, and like here's like what we're actually gonna be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So far, I had no idea. Like,
So you're looking more for the plan.
Yeah.
yeah, because like they had a plan for Phase 3 and they announced that, and that was really cool. So I'm really like just
Yeah.
excited to see if they're gonna do something similar.
Yeah, I think for me it's more of just where are we going with this story? I'm with you on the plan. Like, where do we go next? A lot of people are like, let's do Galactus as the next final boss. I'm like, if you guys know the comics, Galactus is like kind of mid tier compared to like a lot of big threats. If you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Fantastic Four were able to defeat them by themselves in the comics.
Yeah.
So
They didn't really need to get the whole
yeah,
universe into that.
Yeah, they didn't, yeah.
So I want to know where we go next, and I have some ideas. So if Marvel, you want to like pick up my brain for like how to do next,
They won't.
they won't. They don't know me.
We'll see.
Call me. But no, I think that's. Oh man, it's just you. This has really been a pop culture defining moment in these films, and a lot of people are just kind of like look over them. I'm like, dude, if you just sit down and listen, like pay attention, see how it really does work like a comic book, because like you kind of like have to read this and then read what happens in this next issue, and then in the next issue, and then there's somewhere in between you got to read these issues. Some of them are okay, some of them are not.
Yeah.
So like it's really become kind of this sort of great comic book thing, and I think well, I guess that ends today's episode, right?
Yeah. So thank you guys.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Just if you guys are ever down to listening to us, you can find us on Kelvin. Where can they find us?
They can find us on these verified sites that we are now officially verified podcast sites, and anywhere else you can listen to podcasts really. But like our spots, we're verified on Google Podcasts, Castbox, I believe Spotify. I'm not 100% sure if we've been like verified on there on that yet. I can go check maybe later today. But for sure though, Castbox, Google Play, podcast. They call it, I don't know. It's like Google Play / like Google Music.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, but
It's some
again,
podcast thing.
if you go to Google Music and then you just type select the podcast section,
Yeah.
type in the Geek Centurions, you'll find us. So yeah, and anywhere else where you can find podcasts, and of course, subscribe, like.
On our YouTube
comment
page.
on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so we got a YouTube page, and
We also have a Patreon.
we have a
Support
Patreon
us.
that's coming up, guys. Please support us. We need the cash. And
'Cause
any
this
other
shit's
form of social
expensive.
media.
This ain't free. We're broke ass college students.
Well, yeah. We're all broke ass college students, really. But support us on Patreon. We have an Instagram. Facebook's coming up soon.
Maybe Twitter.
Maybe
But-
Twitter.
But help us get to there first, and then we'll
Yeah.
maybe consider Twitter.
Yeah, maybe we consider Twitter. So, yeah, and this is
Kelvin, your boy.
Joey now. Yeah.
for now.
Yeah.
And Eli, and we are the Geek Centurions, and we are signing out.